Good evening, sir. Thank you so much for coming for Womanistaan talk show. Complete honor and pleasure.
Thank you so much, Manaz. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. And of course, meeting you in person as a different level. But the next time, maybe when we meet, then we may have a face-to-face interview.
Yes, thank you, sir. Thank you so much for this opportunity. And I have had the privilege of meeting you once in Srinagar at Chinarko. So I know how, dynamically you have taken the team ahead. I would like you to share some very important things to my viewers, something that you've never shared before to any media house, something so empowering that, your challenges that you had while you went Srinagar.
Okay. Okay. Well, I think it's a long story because what happens is that when you are a military professional, the perception always goes out that you are there to only kill the enemy and, take out weapon and shoot and stuff like this. So when a person like me who has got a dual personality, I may say, right, for an enemy it is different and for friends it's totally different. So, the comprehension even of the local population becomes that, ye Fauji, what is he doing? Why is he doing all this? But you see, Manaz, what happened is that I have done 7 tenures in Valley and I knew what the challenges people go through. A lot of time people talk of Kashmir, but I always talk of Kashmiris because I believe places can be hard. Places can be beautiful, but it's the people who matter, right? Unfortunately, we look at terrain, we look at the physical beauty of the location, or even physical beauty of a person, but we don't want to actually engage with the person per se. I guess I am slightly made a little different. And maybe when my journey started in a very young age and I had engaged with those Kashmiri people even as a young captain and a major, or that is maybe my DNA, how I have been brought up. So once I went there as a Chinar Corps, I had a lot of experience of having done things in smaller manner. So I also knew what the aspirations and the challenges of the population was. While my primary responsibility, what people don't understand is my primary responsibility of Indian Army is on the borders. It's not line of control. It is not towards the people of Kashmir, right? We are uniformed. We are supposed to be only firing at the enemy. And a lot of time you will hear rumors, lakhon ki fauj hai. There are lakhs of soldiers. They're not lack of soldiers. We've got lakhs of soldiers in the entire inventory of Indian Army who are deployed on the Chinese border, who are in the peace stations, who are carrying out training, who are getting on retirement, So we have got a portion of that. Most of it, 90%, 80% of them are deployed on the line of control, right? Only a fraction or part of it, a small portion of it is deployed in the hinterland. And why is it deployed? Let's say if Jammu Kashmir was elsewhere, then possibly army was not required, something like LWE. The police is taking care of it. But as it happens on the border line of control where a very, very tenacious enemy is deployed, it is important that our lines of communication, the roads which lead to the borders remain secure, right? Every activity happens along the road. And what the enemy wants, enemy doesn't want Kashmir. Enemy wants to ensure that our force remains committed on the roads to look after that. So all our actions are to ensure security of the roads, our communication, our ration, people are going on chutti, holidays, turnover, the works. But a smaller portion of that is involved into counter-terrorist operation. Essentially, it is a job being done by Jammu and Kashmir Police and the CRPF and others, right? Who provide security for installations and everything. We go in for operations when we are told that there is a particular terrorist here. And of course, we carry out number of engagement activities with civilians. So when I reached there, my aim was to reach out to the population. And there's a thing called, I used to call a cycle of violence. So what is cycle of violence? Cycle of violence is there's one terrorist, one local youth who becomes terrorist, right? He gets a burial. It is celebrated in a very organized and orchestrated manner by a team which used to do it. In that, number of youth who are from 14 years, 13 years to 25 years used to get excited, motivated, and used to become better. So from one death, three more chaps used to come out. Right? Now, this was being done by some select element which I needed to isolate from the cycle of violence. So now those guys will get killed, and again the new cycle will. So I wanted to break the cycle. Second, I wanted to do was that I was wanting to identify those people who were finding out these vulnerable youth. Me and you will not become a terrorist, right? Because we are apart. But me and you will, talk like this and encourage somebody to become a terrorist, right? For a cause. So there were some people who were sitting very silently, good people who will come and meet me, who will come and meet you, evolved section of society, but on the ground, they will go out and find these vulnerable boys and girls and put them on the path of violence.
So this is indoctrination. The
That's
indoctrination.
indoctrination.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the indoctrination is not being done by a Maulvi or somebody, who's doing it, because वो तो पढ़ रहा है अपना जो भी पढ़ना है अपना मस्जिद में जाके जो भी उन्हें पूजा करनी है वो करता है. But the guys who are doing it are the people who are empowered, who are beneficiaries of the conflict economy. They want conflict to continue because when conflict continues, all the contracts come to few people. They got more powerful. They have relevance in the society. They got, and some people are psychos, right? So I wanted to break this cycle of violence. So a couple of things which is not known to people is that I reached out to a number of families personally myself whose children were terrorists, right? Or whose children were about to become terrorists. Because pata chal jata hai. Everybody comes to know that my child or so-and-so child is going on the wrong path. How do you come to know? He's into drugs. He's heavily into stone pelting. He's heavily into Instagram, social media, or YouTube, watching a particular content. He's either become too isolated, too loner, or he's into glamour. He's a show-off guy. I will carry a weapon, 5 girls will fall for me. Or somebody who's been, rejected from a girl, had a good affair, rejected. Somebody who's got a debt. These are people who are selected, identified. So even I can do the same thing. So my people could do it. So between the police and our Rashtrastriya from the ground, we are able to identify such people and we are able to break the chain. So, X person is trying to motivate this guy to become a terrorist. I need to cut the chain by telling the parent and telling this boy that this guy who's telling you to become a terrorist, right? His son, by the way, is in Chandigarh. His daughter, she's in Bangalore. And okay, his money is coming from so-and-so place. Tumhara kya hoga? What will happen to you? You got 5 sisters, you got an old mother. You will die, what will happen to your family? So I think for me as a soldier, it was easier to kill a terrorist. But much more human service was to save those children from becoming a terrorist. So I think that is one part which I institutionalized. So when I started doing it myself, this energy came to my officers, my soldiers, who started doing it themselves. So, I may have saved 10, but then there were people who saved another set of 150, 200, such children. Or there's something very unique which he started. The thing called, you're a Muslim, you'll understand, in today's environment, when we say I'm doing de-radicalization, it is horrifying. I am a Hindu, I am a soldier, I am going to a Islamic environment where everybody is Muslim. If I use a word called de-radicalization, it will be very, very horrifying, become a state news, international news. So what I did was, and I had parents coming to me. They should say, "Sir, mera bacha banne wala, what should I do?" And I had no answer. State cannot do. So I created a location and environment wherein parents who thought, or youth who themselves thought, that they did not want to go on the path, but they are being egged. Maybe they're on the wrong path. Take them out, put them together, and put some Kashmiri people together who were clear in the thought. So they were Maulvis, There was a terrorist father. There was a father of a terrorist who had died. There is a surrendered terrorist. There is an apprehended terrorist. There were different type of people who came and talked to them, besides people like you, who came from outside, right? And they said there's a whole world beyond. In that world beyond, you may be Shia, you may be Sunni, you may be Ahmadiyya, you may be a Hindu, you may be a Christian, you may be a Kashmiri, you may be a Jammuite, you may be from London. Everybody thrives together. Okay. And this program became very, very successful. So much so that I ran one program, there was demand for second and third and fourth. I am told now that even when I left, generally what happens is that when you leave, everything shuts down. Even when I left, it has run 24 to 25 sessions. And I just simply called it Sahi Rasta. Right? About 400 youth by name have been taken out. And those youth used to tell. I used to go and meet them. They used to tell me I used to spend about 2 hours as a corps commander, Lieutenant General. You know, you're a big man, you're a huge man. You know what is the importance of a Lieutenant General. I used to spend 3 hours with those boys only as a commitment to Kashmiris that I must save these lives from going wrong. And they became my ambassadors. Right? They became my ambassadors.
Wonderful, wonderful. So post that, was there kind of an operation during when you were there? Any strong operations were carried out?
You know, I'll tell you one very incident, very, very funny incident. Nobody will believe it, but it is recorded. It is there in the social media, I think, somewhere. I'm not very good in social media, so I don't know much how to go about it. But this very interesting operation was that in South Kashmir, in a particular district, there's an operation on. There were 3 terrorists. There were 2 foreign terrorists, and there's a local boy, right? Now, when the operation started, this local boy, he's married, he's got a child, right? This woman, somewhere at about 11 o'clock, in a different district, which is about 40 to 50 kilometers away from the site of operation, in the night, she leaves her home and she goes to the nearest Rashtriya Rifle Company commander, knocks into the COB. And you know, when a woman comes to a COB in such an environment, you get under a lot of tension because somebody will say, kuch galat ho gaya uske saath. Fortunately, there were a couple of elders with her. And then she says that my husband is stuck there in the ambush, in the cordon. Can I request you to do something? So we have a system that when people are in the cordon, you carry out an announcement to surrender. We will take your surrender. And it is amongst not only army to the same, you know, there are village elders there, there are police reps there, and all these things are done in a very, very public environment. And when they refuse and they fire, then the fire starts, firefighting starts. So this lady gives a call, and the company commander gives a call to the company commander who's into that operation that, sir, please don't do anything. I'm coming with a woman, with a wife of terrorist. She says कि मेरे बच्चे को देखेगा तो वो हथियार डाल देगा और आ जाए. Right? So this guy, with his QRT, getting this woman and her child and couple of elders, is now rushing in the mid of night. कहाँ होता है? किस दुनिया में होता है? You go to Pakistan, you go to Afghanistan, you go to the modern of the world fighting terrorism in Afghanistan, or America going anywhere. It happens possibly in your Bharat. This element moves there, and this girl goes out. He says nahi, because now there are 2 foreign terrorists. वो कह रहे तू बोलेगा तो तेरे को गोली मार देंगे. Then she gets the child to speak, right? And that is the time he breaks down. He says कि मैं तो आ नहीं सकता, ये तो आने देंगे. Somehow we were able to do this operation in a manner that 2 terrorists were killed and this boy was killed, right? There are enough number of examples in my tenure in which such savings took place. Some were declared as surrenders, some were taken as apprehensions, and some were also, because what also happens is, they become also target eventually. Some we just, along with the family, we told them to go out for some time, and the thing comes, okay, come back. right? So number of such cases took place. I have just given one example.
Excellent, excellent. So now coming to Operation Sindhoor, sir, could you share some inputs as to how do you feel we could have? I know it was an excellent, I mean, one of the best, operations that one can think of. But do you think that we could have done something, one more thing different to make further, mark?
Yeah, I think two things we should have done differently. Maybe, but then that is my view. The people who are taking those calls, they have got so much other input, which they'll be more cognizant of. I think we could have waited for another 15, 20 days, right? You see, the first one happened after Uri, happened on the 11th or 12th day. The next one happened after the 12th day. This one will happen after 15th day. So what happens is that the enemy also knows something is going to come. So they are well prepared, well geared up. They are psychologically ready. A little bit more time to lapse when the guard is slightly down. To have done this would have achieved much more, possibly result, right? But फिर वही होता है ना menas that your neighbor has come and he's cursed you. Your brother is getting very angry, and your family says that kuch to karna padega. So then your brother will go out and he will also curse, because longer you take, there is a possibility of that curse not happening, right? So I'm not in the government, I was not in the decision making, but that's one thing. The second is somewhere our campaign, we as Indians are not too good in shaping the mind of our people, of enemy, of the international environment. Somewhere we need to understand that today, while you may have an ethical battle, value-based system to do, और हम जो करेंगे वो दुनिया देखेगी और समझेगी, राइट? वो नहीं चलता है. वो अच्छी बात है सोचने की, मगर जमीन की बात ये है. Otherwise, if perceptions and narratives are not there, then the movies will not become, your family will not be able to sell movies at all. So there is something about information that we need to be prepared a little bit more. All symbolism, Sindhoor as a name, the two women officers with mystery leading everything is all okay. But I think a little bit more in terms of information warfare should have been done. And in that, look, is everybody in Pakistan back? Right. Today, Pakistan Army was at the lowest ebb of validations amongst their own population. Maybe we should have played a little bit on this, that because of the terrorists, because of the linkage of Pakistan Army and the terrorist, your country is going down the drain. Right? And, उनकी भी औरतें हैं, उनकी भी बहुएं हैं, उनकी भी बेटियां हैं. Who wants their daughters and women to be raped or made widows? Maybe something of that nature could have been done to create an effective divide between the establishment, which has already lost its credibility, and people of Pakistan. So I can only offer these two suggestions to you now. Maybe this was the way.
I have an important question that Kashmir में इतनी strong intelligence है, and this is a major tourist hub. So why is it कि वहां पर कोई हमारे लोग नहीं थे?
Look, Menas, there's a video of mine. Somebody has put it out. Actually, when I came out that time, Taliban was a big thing. Taliban, Afghanistan, America was going and Taliban was taking power. And there's a lot of rumors coming out that Taliban is going to come to India. And I used to say very openly that Taliban is not technically a terror organization. Taliban has got his own philosophy, their own way of method in that madness. We may not agree with it, right? But they are for Afghanistan. They are not looking at India for religious reason or for Pakistani lens of view and everything. And I have read Taliban pretty well enough. Right? They have got a particular set of tribalistic ideology, ethos which persists in Taliban, right? And of course, they've all come together, uh, through the this thing. But they're not going to listen to another country. Pakistan will say, whistle up and say, you send 100 soldiers, Talibanis here, and we are going to send to India. ऐसे हो जाएगा. So there were a number of time people were asking me a question, and when I came out of this event, again this question was asked to me. So I give an answer, which actually is an answer for your question. The चप्पे चप्पे पर हमारी फौज नहीं हो सकती, right? It is not possible. We are not like a fence holding hand along the line of control. At every step, you got soldiers. And I told you that we don't have that many, right? As is presumed. So there are gaps, people will come. Interland is so huge. You can't have people sitting next to every hotel, every restaurant. In Pahalgam, there must be at least 1,000 restaurants. There must be at least 1,000 homestays. There are at least about 100 to 200 picnic spots where local foreigners, domestic tourists, they all come together and stay there. So can you protect at every place? So let's say it was not in Banswara. We had 40 chaps there. What about the next valley? What about the previous valley? So what happens is this perception that why there was nobody. You can't guard every room in a house.
Yes, sir, but
So
हमारी
you
intelligence wasn't there
नहीं
any.
देखो इंटेलिजेंस मेनास आपको ये नहीं पता कि कितनी इंटेलिजेंस के ऊपर हमने सैकड़ों ऐसी कार्रवाइयां नहीं होने दी. But you are asking for one which has happened. I was a corps commander for nearly 15, 16, 17 months. I was a GOC there for 17 odd months. I have been a brigade commander for this thing. The enemy will keep on trying. They will lay an ID. They will do an ambush. They will carry out a fire. We can protect 99. But that 100th one will happen. You can't stop. Can you stop? Can you start searching? Every tourist who comes, कपड़े खोलो, दिखाओ, check करो. Tell me, Manas, who's got the best intelligence in the world? Tell me. Mossad.
Mossad, yeah.
Right. CIA. FBI. There is a thing called Five Eyes. Right. 2011, 2001 happened. 9/11 happened.
What
Twin
about
Towers.
Scotland Yard?
Scotland Yard has got losses relevance. Yeah, they're essentially an investigative agency, and they have lost their touch. But CIA, FBI, they got roots everywhere. They got countries, they got leadership, they got terrorist leadership on their payroll. But yet 9/11 happened. Their embassies have been attacked. Their ships have been attacked. They are getting attacked almost every day. Right? Some succeed. Most of them have succeeded. Look at Israel. 7th October happened. It was not one terrorist who came. They came in about 1,000 a number. They covered along a large frontage. They had technology. They had intelligence. The world's top intelligence. They failed. Right? It is very difficult to succeed, especially when there is a certain degree of support inside. So there is support. We should acknowledge it. So to say that every Kashmiri is innocent is incorrect. But as all Kashmiris are complicit is also incorrect. There is 0.1% who still have the radical ideology. And of that 0.1%, there is very, very small fragment who will actively support. But that also is a number in hundreds. You don't require more than that.
So how long?
So it is very easy. I am retired. I can always say that, look, Manas, I was there for a year and a half. In my tenure, nothing happened. And I can always be very, I can castigate everything onto the system which is there today. and I can be judgmental about it. But I know how difficult it is.
So how safe is Kashmir now? Like if I have to
It
go
is
in
safe.
September,
It is always safe.
yeah.
It is always safe. But Menas, when you're going out today, right, you may be going out in the street of Bombay. Will you like to travel in the midnight? No, you will not. And alone, will you like to travel? So similarly, and of course, you may go 100 days, nothing will happen. And you will always say, यार मैं तो रोज रात को दौड़ने जाती हूँ, long walk के लिए जाती हूँ. Me and my husband go, my son, my daughter go along with me. Nothing happened. There are so many girls, there are so many boys who are moving out in the night. Everything is safe. But one incident happens. A girl gets up, picked up, gets raped, right? So it is also very important that we are conscientious, we are cautious, we are aware, we are vigilant, not only as a tourist, but also as a Kashmiri, right? Because as a Kashmiri, it is our reputation also at stake. Every small such incident puts Kashmiris not in the mind of Indians, rest of the country, but in the mind of the entire world as a wrong, right? And Kashmiris are not like them. I know it. I have seen them from 86 onwards so many times. Very, very modern. Manas, they are as modern, far more modern than you.
So just to remind you, remember I was telling you my mother's name was Munira Kashmiri. So
Ah,
my grandfather's brothers and all the family members are from Kashmir.
oh, look at it, look at it. Yeah. So Manas, it's so interesting that there are Kashmiri Muslims who are in Turkey, who are in Germany, who are in France, UK, US, right? In the evening, they have a glass of wine. The girls wear slits, they wear skirts. But suddenly, when they will come and talk about Kashmir, they'll be wearing a different dress. They are the people we have to be worried about, right? Because they are on payrolls of some elements, and there is a family business, right? They are running businesses on that. Unfortunately, the youth in Kashmir, they get carried away, right? They just too carried away. There are political establishment leaders. बच्चे पूरे पढ़े बाहर ऐशो आराम की जिंदगी जी और अभी सडनली आने के बाद में वो पूरा समझाते हैं कि धर्म क्या है क्या नहीं. So look at I always keep on saying this example. Look at Saudi Arabia, look at Qatar, look at Doha, look at UAE, look at Dubai, look at they're all truly Islamic countries where they are, where they're going. And you are trying to follow the ideology of Pakistan and you're watching Pakistan destroying, self-destructing yourself. समझ नहीं आता ये बोलने वाले लोग ये साफ नहीं बोलते एंड आई व्हेन आई स्पीक तो एवरीबॉडी गेट्स टोटली शो यू आर एन आर्मी चैप यू आर अ जनरल यू टॉक लाइक दिस या आई टॉक लाइक दिस बिकॉज आई एम फॉन्ड ऑफ इट.
So you're talking
If
about
I was not, I will not.
no, I came to Chinarko and I called up my cousin who's a professor in one of the colleges there and I said I want to meet you. She's my extended family cousin in Srinagar. So she said, where are you staying? So I said, I'm at the Chinarko. I'm here for 2 days. I would love to meet you for a cup of coffee or lunch. You're my sister, extended family sister. After hearing where I'm staying, she disconnected. There was complete silence.
Yeah. And ulta batao Manas. There is a village, there's a small township called Bandipur. So I used to have a number of seminars and discussions in my garrison, And of course, we used to do it in other places as well. But then where I had to attend, people had to come, I can't go to every places. I used to go to some places, but so there is a Onir karke ek aadmi, there's a film producer, Onir. So he had produced something, some songs and some stuff and all, local songs, and it got a very beautiful work. And we had to release it, and they wanted me to release, so I got it released. So there were about 4, 5 local Kashmiri songs and something talent which was there. So there's a girl which was there and from a remote village somewhere, So she came and amongst many other things, this girl comes in, sings a song, right? Beautiful song, beautiful Kashmiri song, right? And then she says that my mother used to sing it for us. Now this hall of about 200, 300 people, I don't remember how many, has got civilians, they got Maulvis, they got elders, they got young, youth, bache, school, very few army. My wife is also there. So then I asked this girl that, Beta, but where is your mother? Is she in the village? She said, "Nahi, meri maa mere saath aayi." Right? So she was sitting behind and I looked back. So some lady in a burqa, she raises her hand, right? So I said, can she come and sing the song? And I asked this girl. So she asked her mother in Kashmiri. So that lady gets up, right? And, I just had asked in a joking, I never wanted her to come and sing. Because again, every small thing has got a twist in such a society. Now she walks up, she takes out her burqa, she picks up a mic, and now both of them discuss something, करके कुछ बात करते हैं, and then they sing a very beautiful Hindi song from a film, some film. I don't remember. It is somewhere on the YouTube. And I am worried.
Bumrao Bumrao?
हाँ, सब नहीं no, Bumrao तो कुछ और है. But proper Hindi song. Bumrao तो is of course a Kashmiri, this thing, some total Hindi song. Very, very old number. Very touchy and very beautiful, peppy number. And then when it gets over, then I told her and her mother, मैं तो कश्मीरी गाना सुनना चाहता था. ठीक है, आपने ये क्या सुना दे? Then they said कि हम कश्मीरी सुना देते हैं. So what I'm trying to say is that people who are slightly evolved, who are empowered, they may try to keep.
They have exposure to the world.
No, this girl doesn't have the exposure to the world, but she has got a trust. Your cousin sister may have an exposure, but in the society where she lives, she may not like to connect with army. There are distinctions. So that's what I'm saying. When we are evolved, there are other issues which come out. So the Kashmir Lit Fest was there. I was called because they wanted me to inaugurate it. That's the first Lit Fest. I also did not know who's the organizer. मुझे तो कोई बोलता है Kashmir आ जाओ. And if they say we are going to cover your travel, and because stay, they will apna Chinarpur looks after. I go running, right? So they called and I went. And there's this young girls who organized, they were the speakers, they were MC. You could not think that you're in Kashmir Valley, right? You were sitting somewhere in New York, smartly turned out, good English, confident, speaking.
So
and talking to me.
Personally, the youth in Kashmir, they are so artistic, they are so well educated, and they need just the right hand holding, and they can go really forward.
You just go back to 80s and you ask your parents, 70s and 80s, Kashmir was different. I was in 86 there, 87, I had to go for patrols. And I had to find women walking together outside, carrying stuff on the head, wearing beautiful, pahad jahan pe bhi hote, mountains. You're from mountains only. From Russia to Myanmar to Indonesia, anywhere you go in the mountains, the women wear colored scarf, right?
So one very quick question I want to interrupt you, since we are short on time, but I'm going to take you back for another interview in the next session. There is a book written about you, on you. Can you give us some light on it?
Oh, okay. There's a book called Soldiering with Passion. So actually, just before I was retiring, about 6 months before I was retiring, Kiran Bedi had come for a talk. I was the commandant of War College. And she sort of meeting with me and she spent about half an hour, 1 hour with me. And she said that I have done so much about you before coming here. And I sought a meeting to ask you, are you going to write a book about yourself? So I said, no. She said, Jan Saab, aap desh ke liye और नौजवानों के लिए बहुत, you are going to do disservice if you don't write a book, because I have spoken to variety of different people and I have done research about you. You got immense amount of respect outside because you have done something very, very different, which is not a routine run of the mill stuff. So I laughed it off, but she was very, very serious, and she's a very serious person. And then wind down to my retirement time. When I retired, then about 5, 6 publishers came to me. And everybody wanted to write a biography or autobiography, which I refused. So I retired on 30th of June. In mid-November, this officer, Colonel Ajay Rana, comes to my home. He asked for an appointment, and now everybody comes to my place, and I don't have much to offer. I offer them a cup of tea. My wife makes good coffee and tea. He sat for 2 hours, and he tried to convince me. He's from Jammu, Sundarban. He said, I have been retired for 10 years. For 10 years, I have talked to soldiers about you. There's a fan following. Your clips have got millions to millions multiple times. Anybody who wants to make a money, they make a new clip of yours and they post it within a day or two. It has a lakh hit. And there is a youth followership in Srinagar. Because when I was coming out, the youth came out to pull my, there are a large number of people who came to see me off. So there is in the nation and in Kashmir, there is people who respect you. You must write what you have done in your life so that people can become watch you. So, but I was very, very chary. As a soldier, you don't want to tell your story.
And the book
It's
is
very
on
difficult.
Amazon. The book is available on Amazon, which
Yeah.
I bought. And I will meet you and I will take your signature in it.
Yeah, thank you, Manoj. So what happens is that he has taken stories from youth, from soldiers, from officers who served. I have not given an interview. I have also not taken a penny or royalty on that book. This book is totally owned by him. And he has structured the book very beautifully for youth, for corporate leadership, for any age, how to be a good leader and how to be a good human being is what has been encapsulated in it.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much, sir. And on that note, I thank you again for coming on this show. And I hope to get you again. I'll take an appointment so we can talk more about your book and a little more about Operation Sindhoor in the next session.
Thank you. Thank you, Manas.
Thank you for your time. Jai Hind, sir.
Jai Hind. Jai Hind. God bless. Let's switch off the record now.
Ji.